Good morning, y'all. Today is Tuesday, April 12th, and it is day 51. Gary and I just got dropped back off at the parking lot where we ended our slack pack yesterday. Had a wonderful stay at the Quarterway Inn. Tina, the owner, was so gracious, and she also makes a mean breakfast. So I definitely recommend staying there if you have the opportunity. And I also bought this little necklace that she makes. So pretty much there are different colored beads on it, and each set of colors represents all 14 states on the Appalachian Trail. So up at the top here, it starts with like Georgia, which is like black, and then you can kind of see the North Carolina blue for North Carolina. Then there's orange for Tennessee, and right now I am in Virginia, which is this dark blue, which represents the Blue Ridge Mountains. And I don't know if you all can see this little black rubber ring, but each bead represents about 24 miles on the AT. So as I move from different sections to sections, I can just move that rubber ring just to sort of track where I am. So that's pretty cool. I'm either gonna do like 11 or 20 miles today, and my leg is feeling pretty good, so I'm excited to get going here. And I think we're expecting pretty decent weather today in the mid 50s, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, let's get going. All right, so this is where the fun begins. We've got our very first river crossing up ahead. I've heard from comments and people ahead of me that this river can get up to knee deep, but I don't think it'll be that bad today. Let's see. I definitely learned my lesson from the Dolly Sods last year, so my shoes and socks are staying nice and dry this time around. Here we go. Oh my God, it's cold. Oh my God. Oh, baby, it's cold. Oh my God. Ooh. Oh my God. That was cold. Oh, I didn't like that. Well, that stream crossing was fun, wasn't it? I've done about 6.5 miles so far today. It is now 12:50 p.m. and we are starting the biggest climb of the day, and it is a big one, up to Chestnut Knob Shelter. Just under 5 miles long, about 2,500 feet of elevation gain, if I remember correctly. And it's probably gonna take me close to, if not 2 hours, to get up there. So I'm just gonna try to plug away at it. And Chestnut Knob is the first shelter that I was thinking about stopping at today, which would make today an 11-mile day. But after that, you pretty much walk along the ridge line, and then you walk down to the next shelter, which is Jenkins. and it's just another 11 miles past Chestnut Knob. So I think I might be pushing it to Jenkins today, since my leg is feeling a little better. I want to try to make up some ground that I've lost over the last several days. And I know yesterday I was sort of talking about possibly taking a few days off trail to let my leg heal up. And I still think I'm going to do that. But I just want to see how I feel in this next stretch of trail. And I want to see if pushing it a little bit makes it worse, because I don't really know what's going on with this little injury. I know at the beginning of the day, like today, I was feeling perfectly fine, and it was the same thing yesterday, but by the end of the day yesterday, it was aggravated. So I'm wondering if I'm going to experience the same thing today. And my goal is to make it to Woods Hole Hostel. And if I do end up taking like 2-3 days off trail, I would rather do it there. So I know that Hostel offers a lot of different things, and they're not all that expensive. So if I'm gonna be off trail, I wanna be at least a little bit comfortable, and I wanna have either good Wi-Fi or good cell phone service to keep myself entertained. So if I can push it today, then I should be making it to Woods Hole by either Thursday or Friday. So that's my goal. And hopefully my leg doesn't give me too many problems between here and there, because I really would prefer not to take time off trail. Like, I want to keep moving, but if I have to, I have to, and I got to listen to what my body's telling me. So we're going to start with today, see how we feel, go as far as I feel like I can go comfortably and safely, and then we'll pick it back up tomorrow. A mile and a half from the top. We're getting up there. All right, we made it to Chestnut Knob shelter. Finally done with this climb. And look at the view. It's pretty sweet. All right, so I had just a quick snack back there at Chestnut Knob. I looked at the map and saw that I only have another 10.5 miles to get to Jenkins shelter, and it is right around 2:45, 2:45. So I just wanted to keep it moving. I think I will comfortably make it there today, because that was pretty much the only major climb of the day. For the next 7-8 miles or so, I'm pretty much walking along the ridge up here, and then we will shoot down to the shelter. So terrain wise, the rest of the day should be pretty easy. So I'm happy about that. I'm happy that my leg is feeling okay. So it looks like we might be back to pushing 20+ mile days. Hopefully, because I want to get back to that. All right, only 4.5 miles to the shelter. That's what I like to see. I'm hoping to be there in maybe an hour and a half. And apparently some trail maintainers want us hikers to help maintain the privy. So they're asking if we can take some wooden shavings and put them around the privy. So I'll do my part. Got my plastic bag of wood shavings. Let's go. Okay, so I made it to Jenkins Shelter. That puts us at 22.5 miles on the day. And I definitely think I overdid it a little bit. In those last 3 miles coming back down the mountain, I definitely started to feel some irritation in the lower part of my shin and in my ankle. So I definitely think there is something wrong. Pretty much decided that I'm probably going to have to get off trail for a few days. I'm going to try to go see a doctor or something in Parisburg. And we'll see what the issue is and see how we can get it corrected. But still have to get to Parisburg. So tomorrow, only probably going to be doing about 13.5 miles to get to the next shelter. Definitely can't push any more 20s. Not right now. So that's the plan. And that's pretty much it for today. I'm in the privy right now because I needed to go before I go to bed. And there are a bunch of flies flying around, so I'm going to try to hurry up. But I will talk to y'all in the morning. So have a good night. Okay, so today is Wednesday, April 13th. It is day 52 here at Jenkins Shelter. Naturally, I am the last one to leave the shelter, and it's around 8:45 in the morning. But I'm not alone today. Leapfrog is here, and we are the last ones to leave together. I don't understand why people feel like they need to leave before the sun comes up. And at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm hearing people walk past my tent. Doesn't make any sense to me, but hey, to each their own, I guess. Okay, so the plan for today is to do just an easy 13.5 miles to get to Helvey's Mill Shelter. I think Gary is also going to stick to that same plan, so I should see him a little later on. He left maybe 15, 20 minutes ago. And I'm really excited because in about 11 miles, we will be going past, I think it's called Brushy's Outpost or something like that, which is this little store, which is right off to the side of the trail. And they sell burgers and stuff. So I'm excited to have lunch there and get me a little piece of burger. But yeah, I learned yesterday that I probably should not be trying to do any more 20-mile days until I get my leg checked out. So once I make it to the next town, I will definitely do that. And I will likely be getting off trail for maybe 3, 4, 5 days, however long the doctors tell me. I just hope they don't say like 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm excited to be hiking with Leapfrog again today, and today is her birthday. So everyone say happy birthday, Leapfrog, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, she's not even here to hear it. She's using the privy right now. Sorry, Leapfrog, I didn't mean to spray all your business out there, but when she comes back, I'm going to go use the privy, and then we'll probably take off. So this morning I woke up and I was kind of in a mood, and it's sort of carried over from last night. And Gary Leapfrog and I were talking about it over breakfast this morning. Pretty much, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm loving this trip so far. I love hiking, and I feel like I can continue to do this every day, and I'm happy with what I'm doing, but I'm not really feeling the community aspect of the AT that everyone talks about so much. I guess maybe because I started in February, which is before the quote unquote bubble. And it just feels like I'm not having the social experience that I thought I might have, or maybe that I was hoping to have. It seems like a lot of the people who I have found myself hiking around are just sort of to themselves and all about their own hikes. And the only thing they want to talk about is how many miles they plan to do the next day. And they all get up before the sun comes up and they take off. They get to the shelters or the next campsite super early. And by the time I get there, they're all pretty much finished dinner and crawling into their sleeping bags and quilts and going to sleep. But I'm just like, what are we doing? Like, to see the same people repeatedly and to not really feel like I'm forming any bonds or connections, or we're not really having any real conversations. I'm like, what is this? Why? I don't know. And I know Gary was saying that he sort of felt the same way, where it's like, we don't really feel like we're making strong connections, making friends. I've talked about it before where I'm just sort of hiking alone all day, every day, which that's fine. But when you get to a shelter at the end of the day and you're around other people, sometimes you want to talk about stuff. But that just doesn't seem to happen. And it just seems like, I don't know, everyone is just so individualistic. Like, they only think about themselves and what their plans are and what they want to do and how many miles they're doing the next day and what time they need to get up so that they can get those miles done. And I'm like, I thought there was going to be more to this than that. I don't know. It makes me wish that I could meet someone else out here who was like me, if you feel what I'm saying. Because I've only seen one other person who looks like me. And I know there are at least a couple others out here who I've seen on social media, but actually coming across someone, I've only seen one person. And I just wish I could have like one of my friends out here, or someone who sort of gets me, someone who sort of has the same energy as me, because I'm not really getting that. I mean, so far, the people who I've enjoyed being around the most and the people who I feel like I've made some genuine connections with include Lorraine, Megan/Neon, Dandelion, and now Gary and Leapfrog. And aside from them, I'm just like, everyone else is just sort of around. And, you know, I don't know. I don't know how interested I am in doing other long distance national scenic trails after this one, because I feel like the AT is supposed to be the most social out of all the trails, that I'm not really feeling the community vibes. So right now, I can't really foresee myself trying to do the PCT or the CDT unless I had like one or two good friends or someone who I could really relate to, who I know would help make the experience more fun. So yeah, that's just kind of what I wanted to speak to. I wish people would sort of come together a little more out here. And maybe this is just the type of crowd that wanted to start before the bubble, where they didn't really want to have too much social interaction. And maybe I should have started my hike a little later in the season, but I wanted to start on my birthday. So I don't know, that's what I did, and this is where I'm at. In 3.5 miles, I'm getting me a burger and a piece of fry. I wonder if they have milkshakes, because I really want a milkshake. Or like ice cream or something. I know I wished for it to be warm, and now it is warm. But with that warmth, there is also humidity. So I need something to cool me off a little bit. But other than that, it's a really nice day. Sprinkling some raindrops here and there, but can't complain.
Bro, that's heavy. Bro, a sock or a hat.
Yay, it's food time. I'm so hungry. I don't want to hike anymore today. I just want to be done.
Just 2 more miles.
I want to lay down right here on the floor and just go to sleep. It's like a bar, but for hikers. That's how Leapfrog puts it. Rather than motorcycles, we've got packs lined up. It's only maybe 2.1, 2.2 miles to the shelter, and it's only 3:15. I'm actually gonna get to camp early today, which I'm kind of happy about because it is a nice day to just sit out and chill. So I'm glad to not be hiking super late today. So this is what being an early bird feels like. I must say it feels pretty good. Already claimed my spot in the shelter right next to the wall, which I never get a spot by the wall. And now I'm making my way down this long, steep climb or hill or mountain, whatever, to get water. What? I'm vlogging. I already told y'all I hate having to go downhill to get water. I think it's like 0.2 miles. Crazy. Honestly though, today I was kind of feeling a little off my game. As I mentioned this morning, I woke up in kind of a bad mood and I just couldn't really snap back into shape. I didn't feel like myself today at all. And I was actually around people who I enjoyed the whole day, like Leapfrog, Gary, Batona. Like, we've been having a good time, talking, laughing, joking around. We got to the shelter super early, but I don't know. Today was the first day where I started feeling like I could just go home and like be back around my friends and family and people who care about me and enjoy my presence and all that stuff. And I don't know. I'm not saying that to say that I'm thinking about quitting. I'm just saying these thoughts were coming up today. And I started like, you know how once you have one negative thought, if you don't really like nip it in the bud right then and there, it spirals into more negative thoughts. And that's honestly what was happening today. And I started telling myself that I wasn't gonna make it to Katahdin, and I probably don't belong out here. I don't fit in or whatever. And what is with all these low-hanging branches? Can I just get water in peace? Jeez. But no, I don't know. I've been feeling very isolated today. Meaning, I guess it's kind of hard being the only person in the vicinity who looks like you day in and day out. Oh my God, there were some deer that just went running down the hill, and I thought it was a bear, and I was like, oh. Anyways, back to what I was saying. It's hard. It's kind of lonely. And I'm someone who does pretty well by myself. I'm pretty independent. I don't need to be around people, but when you are around people, it would feel a whole lot nicer if at least one of those people looked like you or was some sort of representation of who you are or where you come from. And I'm just not seeing that on a day-to-day basis. That's hard. And I know a lot of people aren't going to understand what that feels like. So I'm telling you. But that's today. Tomorrow's a new day. And they say, never quit on a bad day. I'm not quitting on any day. So we can get that out of our brains right now. But, you know, just sort of expressing how I feel. And I finally made it to the water source.
Here we go. We tried. All right. Now, ready for the happy birthday song?
Yes.
All right, video. All right, here we go, guys. Start them up.
1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday
Day to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday,
Dear leapfrog. Leapfrog. Yay!
So my dog.
Look who got their bear bag hung while it's still light out. Go me. Now I see why people get up early and race to the next shelter. What up? Today's Thursday, April 14th. It is day 53 Yo, it is wild that we are already midway through April and I'm almost at 2 months of being on trail. So that's pretty cool and exciting. I woke up today in a much better mood than I did yesterday, and I'm feeling ready to knock some more miles down. We had a cool little group at the shelter last night. Gary, Leapfrog, Batona, and then a couple other younger guys, Gorpy and Aaron. The 6 of us all slept in the shelter, and that was the kind of interaction that I have been looking for, where we were all sort of talking and laughing and just enjoying each other's company. So I'm glad I got to have that experience last night. It is just after 9 a.m. Leapfrog, Batona, and I are just taking off. We're gonna be doing about 16.2 miles today to get to some gap where there's a gas station, and I can't think of the name of it, but the gas station allows hikers to camp for like $6, and we can take a shower for like $3. So I think we're gonna make that move today. And obviously there will also be like real food there. And then tomorrow we will make our way to Woods Hole Hostel, which is another 15.5 miles from the gas station. So in about 6 miles, we will be crossing or passing mile 600, which is pretty cool. And that leaves about 400 miles left of Virginia. I mean, we only just got to Virginia maybe a week and a half, almost 2 weeks ago. But yeah, we're moving right along. And I'm still trying to figure out where exactly I'm going to take a few days off trail. My leg is still feeling a little aggravated each day, but it's still not getting worse. So I don't know if hiking is like doing me any good. Is it just gonna go away on its own if I continue on, or do I really need to get off trail for a few days and just let it heal up? My brain tells me I should probably get off trail for at least 2-3 days, but I really just want to keep moving, and I'm finally hiking around people that I enjoy. So I don't know what to do. I already know what y'all are gonna tell me, and I know I'm probably gonna get off trail at some point. So in about, let me see, probably in the next 2 days, like the day after tomorrow, Saturday, I will make it to Harrisburg, Virginia. So that could be an option for taking a few days off. I've also considered taking a few days off at Woods Hole Hostel, which I'll be reaching tomorrow, since that's one of the more iconic hostels on the trail. And then there's the further part of my brain, which tells me to finish out this section of southern VA and get all the way to Daleville, which is about 8 days away from me if I continued hiking. There would be no 20-mile day pushes in those 8 days, but it's still 8 days. So I'm just not sure. I'm taking it day by day, trying to see how I feel and making the decisions that I feel are best in the moment. So we'll just have to see what happens. Yesterday, I was really in my head a lot. And I know I started explaining some of what I was feeling after we got to the shelter yesterday. You know, all the telling myself that I shouldn't be out here and that I'm not good enough or I don't have what it takes. But today, I've managed to throw all that stuff away and I'm just back to hiking, which I know I can do. So I've done it this far, and it feels good to be back in my right mind, back in my rational mind, and not just falling down the rabbit hole of despair. It's taken me a lot of years and a lot of work to learn how to not feed into the negative stuff. Because growing up, I hated myself and I thought I was the most worthless thing on the planet. But I choose not to believe that anymore. And I'm not necessarily out here to find myself or to discover anything. I think I have a pretty good sense of who I am and who I'm becoming. And I'm always open to seeing what else comes up that I maybe haven't already found within myself. But I think at this stage in my life, 30 years old, I have a pretty good grip on who I am in this moment and in this time in my life. And I can't let that negative stuff come in and disrupt that, because at the end of the day, most of that stuff, or pretty much all of that stuff, isn't even real. It's not true. It's just stuff that we create. And we tell ourselves that stuff for so long that we start to believe it. And then it takes years and years of unlearning to realize that we're just destroying ourselves. So I'm not going to destroy myself while I'm on this hike. I'm out here to have a good time and to push myself and to do things that I never would have dreamed of doing when I was younger. So I'm here. I'm still here and I'm not going anywhere. And I know that I'm supposed to be here. And I know that I belong here just as much as anyone else. So I just wanted to say that, and hopefully that message carries on to someone else who have maybe felt the things that I felt before or struggled with similar negative thoughts. Just know that it's not true, whatever it is you're telling yourself, and you are worth so much more than what you might believe at this moment in time. Another milestone, another 100 miles, getting closer and closer to 1,000 every week. And at this point, I'm pretty much cranking out 100 miles a week. And if it weren't for this little shin injury, I'd be cranking out 100 miles every 4 or 5 days. 'Cause that was the type of pace that I was starting to keep. But hey, every mile is progress. Every mile is one step closer. And initially I had this target of reaching Mount Katahdin in Maine by like mid-July, but excuse me. Now I'm sort of like, I don't care if I'm out here until August, September. It is what it is. I just want to finish, and I want to enjoy the experience along the way. And I don't want to feel like, oh, I'm just trying to be done. I'm just ready to be done. So, as I said from the beginning, there's really no need to rush. And I'm doing whatever pace feels most comfortable to me. But yeah, we had a little snack back at the 600 mile mark. Leapfrog and Latona are still back there. I needed to keep going because the next shelter is in another 3.5 miles, and there's a privy there, and I need to use it. All right, so the pit stop is over with here at Jenny Knob. I used the privy, which is right over there. Just got 6.5 miles to the gas station where we're planning to camp tonight. Let's go. So I'm about 1.5 miles away from the gas station where I'm planning to camp for the night. I'm assuming that Leapfrog and Batona must have passed me while I was using the privy back there, so they might already be there, or they might be rolling in right around now. I'd honestly be shocked if they were still behind me. Yeah, I'm excited because this gas station has a deli which sells real food. We've been making out pretty good through this stretch of trail between the hostels and all the different places to stop to eat, like the Brushy Mountain Outpost yesterday, and today this gas station. And I think we're all a little excited to camp at a gas station. I think this is the first time for all of us. And we don't have to worry about the police being called on us or anything like that, because this gas station is known to take care of hikers. I mean, it might be a little weird to be paying $6 to camp at a gas station, but you know, we live in this capitalist society and everybody got to make their money one way or another. Apparently, selling gas at these high-ass prices isn't enough. They also got to charge us hikers who are on foot. But yeah, they also let you take a shower for an extra $3, and they let you do laundry for an extra $3. I don't think I'm gonna do either of those because, you know, I've taken a shower in some pretty weird places and also some not so clean places, but a gas station shower, I don't know. That might be a pass for me. And honestly, I'm gonna be hiking to Woods Hole Hostel tomorrow anyway, so I can just grab a shower and do my laundry there instead. I think I prefer that. You know, just give me food and a place to set up my tent and I'm Gucci. So yeah, today was pretty uneventful aside from passing the 600 mile mark. We were just pretty much walking along the ridge the whole time and there wasn't really much to see. It's also been a pretty overcast day, if you can't tell. But yeah, it's starting to really warm up outside. Last night I was actually hot in the shelter under my quilt and I ended up taking off like my base layers and just sleeping in my shorts and hiking shirt. So it might be getting close to that time to start sending cold weather gear home. So I'm starting to look through my stuff now and see what I can maybe send home in the next week or so. And I'm really excited about that because that means I can lighten up my pack a little bit more. So yeah, that's all the update for now. Let's get to this Gap where we can get some food, a beverage, and hopefully some ice cream. I was wondering when we were going to start to get some green on some of these trees. I mean, we're midway through April, but there she go. Spring is coming through finally. Yay, I'm here at Trent's grocery store and gas station. They sell food here and they allow hikers to camp and take a shower for $6. I'm gonna head back to the camp area to set up my tent, and then I'll come back and grab something to eat. It's not the flattest camp spot, but for $6, including laundry and a shower, I think this will do. Good morning. Today is Friday, April 15th, day 54. It got pretty cold last night, and it is quite chilly this morning, but it should be warming back up today. It's just after 6:30, and I'm gonna start getting up. The gas station and Trent's grocery store opens at 7, so I'm gonna get over there pretty much right when they open to grab a sandwich and probably some coffee, and then I'm just gonna hit the trail along with Leapfrog and Batona. Our plan for today is to do 15 and a half miles to get to Woods Hole Hostel. They offer free yoga at 4 p.m., so I know Leapfrog really wants to make it there before that. And I just want to get there, get a shower, maybe do some laundry, and need to take another look at my shin because yesterday I was noticing a little lump right where I've been feeling all that discomfort. So realizing that hiking probably is not doing it a whole lot of good. I threw my last icy hot patch on it last night, so we'll see how it's doing today. And yeah, so annoying, but something I gotta deal with. I know I said it was just a little chilly this morning, but actually it's cold as hell again. So I'm running back into this little grocery store to warm up while I wait for Leapfrog and Batona. And I'm also gonna grab me a little breakfast sandwich. Gosh, I hate springtime. It's my least favorite season because the weather never knows what it wants to do. Is it hot? Is it cold? Is it warm? Is it raining? Is it snowing? Pick one. Dang. So it's right around 9:30 or maybe closer to 9:45. And we're finally getting going today. Tell me why before we went to sleep last night. Leapfrog, Latona, and I all agreed that we were gonna be packed up and ready to go at 7 o'clock this morning. And we were just gonna swing past the store to grab a quick bite to eat and then be on trail by 7:30. And I'll just tell you, none of us were packed up at 7 o'clock. We didn't get to the store until 7:45. And then what was supposed to be a quick bite turned into 2, 3 sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits. And we end up just sitting there. I think part of the reason why we struggled this morning is because it got so cold again. And none of us are morning people. So we're pretty much starting right around our usual time today, which sounds about right for us. But as I mentioned earlier, got 15 and a half miles to Woods Hostel, and it's pretty much going to be all uphill today. So might not be the easiest 15 miles, but we'll get it done nonetheless. And hopefully for Leapfrog, she makes it there before the 4 o'clock yoga session. All right, so I'm about 8 miles in on the day so far. Just stopped at Wapiti Shelter to have a quick lunch and use the privy, of course. Got a little more than 7 miles left to do today. And the next couple of miles is a climb. And it might be a little steep, but it's the only climb of the day. So I'm gonna try to hurry up and knock that out and then get to this hostel because I just found out that they serve dinner at 5 and it's now 2 o'clock. So I've got 3 hours to do 7 miles. Can we do it? We're about to find out. Ooh. Ah. Oh. Another climb defeated. Food time.
Jump. You can jump.
My wife works with a lady that bought we call it a farmette, a little baby farm, and she ordered some chickens to kind of.
Okay, so we made it here to Woods Hole Hostel. That puts us at another 15 and a half miles on the day. This place is amazing. I've already had a hot shower. We've had a delicious meal. And the vibe and the atmosphere here is just super calming and just really nice. There's some nice views that I'm excited to wake up to tomorrow morning. And also a really delicious breakfast. And if it's anything like the dinner we just had, I cannot wait. I'm debating if I even want to take a zero here, since I do sort of need to rest up the shin a little bit. I thought I might want to get to Parisburg or even Daleville, but I'm not sure if that's such a good idea to keep trying to push it, even though I have been. Oops. Yeah, I'm nice and full. I'm warm with my jacket on. My laundry's being done as we speak. You saw the showers, and they were pretty cool. Some of the nicest showers of any hostel so far. And yeah, I just get to relax for the rest of the evening. So I'll probably let you know tomorrow morning whatever I decide to do. And this is probably going to close out today because I don't really want to be on my phone much anymore. So I'll probably talk to y'all in the morning. Have a good night. Good morning. Today's Saturday, April 16th, and it is day 54. I am just waking up here at Woods Hole Hostel. I'm all packed up already. All my stuff is right there. Breakfast is in about 5 minutes, so I'm going to head over to the main house in just a moment. But first, I just wanted to show you around the bunkhouse a little bit. Well, at least this bottom floor area. All right, so here we go. This is sort of the living room area. Just out those sliding doors is the bathhouse with showers and toilets. And this is the little kitchen area. So it's super neat and rustic and really cool. Here we have the resupply closet in case you were looking to pick up any goods while you were here. And yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in here. I'm not going to do any resupply today since I'm going to be hiking into Harrisburg and they have a grocery store. But yeah, that's that. Here we have the bathhouse. So towels and loaner clothes are in this little cabinet. Pretty soon, the laundry units will be working, so we'll be able to do laundry ourselves. I kind of showed you the showers yesterday when I was taking a shower. And then they have neat little bathroom areas, and look at the detailing. And how cool is that? Okay, so a little change in plans today. I just got dropped off here at the trailhead in Harrisburg, which is about 11 and a half miles north of Woods Hole Hostel. My original plan for today was to hike here into Harrisburg, but I was talking to Gary and a couple section hikers back at the hostel, and they decided to get a shuttle here this morning, and they're just gonna hike back to Woods Hole and stay another night. And I enjoyed Woods Hole and the owner Neville so much that I decided I would like to stay there another night as well. So we're gonna be doing some easy slack packing today. 11 and a half miles. Sure, we're hiking back uphill to Woods Hole rather than hiking downhill into Harrisburg, but that's okay. Me and Gary have sort of put together a little slack packing plan for the next couple days. So yeah, let's get moving and get back to the hostel so we can chill and so I can ice this shin again. Okay, it's finally starting to look a little like springtime. Flowers are starting to bloom. We love to see it. So I have a feeling that we're probably going to be passing Batona and Leapfrog at some point this morning. They both decided to skip out on breakfast today, which breakfast was amazing, so it sucks for them. But they both have packages here at the post office in Harrisburg. And because today is Saturday, and this is a small southern town, the post office is only open from 10 a.m. until 12 noon today. So they have a very short window to get to the post office to pick up their packages. Otherwise, they'll have to wait until the post office opens on Monday morning to get their stuff. Or they would have to bounce their boxes forward to the next town, which I don't think they really liked either of those options. So they woke up around 5 o'clock this morning and they just jumped right on trail. So I would imagine that they're probably pretty close to Harrisburg by now. I mean, it's only 11 and a half miles. And for them, it's pretty much all downhill. So I may be passing them pretty shortly, or they could already be in town if they were really booking it this morning. But I don't know. That's sort of their thing today, and I'm doing mine, so whatevs. I'm almost to the top of this climb, and I'm so glad there's a view. I've been peeking through the trees, and the valley looks so beautiful, but haven't been able to get a good shot of it. So hopefully on top of this rock, there'll be a nice view.
I think I have two settings that are fighting each other, and I got a double negative basically, so the fractions are wrong.
So pretty.
Yeah.
So, you know, since today's an easier day, I kind of want to talk a little bit. And I know the other day I was sort of talking about how it felt being like one of very few Black people out on trail, being one of only a few queer people, at least from what I've seen, and then being one of very few, if not the only black queer person on trail, and how challenging that was and how isolating it was. And, you know, I've gotten used to sort of being outnumbered in the spaces that I enter. When I used to live in New York and worked in the fashion industry, I was always outnumbered by women and, you know, white women, straight people, straight white people. And then I sort of left the fashion industry, and not because of that reason, but just because I sort of moved beyond the superficiality of it, and a lot of interactions that I was having with people on a day-to-day basis were pretty superficial, and there were just a whole lot of egos and personalities that I just found that I wasn't gelling with too much. And I started taking an interest into all this outdoor stuff in 2018, and I started meeting different people, and I started to feel like, well, you know, maybe this is more of a space where I belong, because people have been friendly and welcoming, and also excited to see someone who looks like me doing the types of things that I do now. But, you know, in documenting this whole experience, I'm trying to be as transparent as possible, and I try to explain what's happening and how I'm feeling every day, and that's part of the reason why my videos are so long. But obviously I can't capture every single moment of every day, and so I can't always sort of explain what I'm feeling or capture it on camera, because sometimes it just comes and then it goes. But what I do want to say is that before I even came out on trail, when I was posting videos about my gear and like what I was doing to prepare, and basically the lead up to my thru hike, I had some people jumping into my comments saying, oh, no one talks about politics on trail, no one wants to hear about diversity on trail, like people get on trail to get away from these things and to escape those conversations. Like, people literally type that stuff into my comments. And I'm like, okay, well, a lot of you who feel this way, and a lot of you who don't want to talk about these certain things on trail, you all look one way, and it doesn't look like me. And you don't have to experience the things that I experience on a daily basis. Even being on trail, it is a much different experience being black and queer than what most people will experience not being black and queer. So for people to jump in my comments and tell me, oh, people don't talk about this or that on trail, it's like, guess what? We all don't have the privilege of running away from our everyday lives and escaping to this trail community where we don't have to talk about things, don't have to face things or take accountability for things. Like, whether I'm on trail or not, I'm still black and I'm still queer, and I have to live with the effects of whatever's happening in the real world every day, whether I'm on trail or not. And guess what? When I go back home, when this hike is over, I'm still black and queer, and I'm gonna have to deal with whatever has happened in this span of time that will ultimately affect my life more so than it will affect yours. So it's been very difficult and very isolating seeing things that are happening back in the real world, like this whole don't say gay bullshit in Florida. And you know, the new Supreme Court justice who just got appointed, I can't think of her name, but the first black woman to be nominated and appointed onto the Supreme Court. All of the racist tirades she had to sit through while she was interviewing for that position. And like, I'm still paying attention to all this stuff, even though I'm on trail. And I've had people say to me, oh, don't worry about anything going on back in the real world. You just focus on your hike. And again, it's like, I can't just escape the real world like a lot of other hikers can. Like, this stuff still affects me. And I don't think anybody has the right to tell me what I can and can't talk about on trail. And people have said, like, if you try to have these conversations on trail, you'll just be shunned from the trail community and people just won't talk to you and you'll spend the entire experience by yourself. And I found that to not be true. There are a lot of other hikers who come out here and maybe don't want to talk about sensitive subjects. And that's cool if that's what they choose to do. Everyone comes out here for their own reasons. I'm not sitting here trying to tell everybody what they can and can't talk about. But a lot of people come out here thinking that the trail is just going to magically heal them or cure whatever issues they've been dealing with. But at the same time, they're not talking about anything of any real depth or importance. So people finish their hikes or they decide to get off trail and they go home, and then they end up in post-trail depression because they didn't actually deal with stuff that they thought that they were going to deal with while they're out there because they didn't talk about it. Like, I see stuff every day because I'm pretty active on social media even while I'm out here. But I see stuff every day that's either anti-black or homophobic, transphobic, and I represent both communities. So all that stuff affects me. And I feel like it's my responsibility to speak up for people on both sides. And sometimes the nasty comments about queer people come from the black community, and sometimes nasty comments about the black community come from the queer community, and that all becomes very difficult and very frustrating. And a lot of people who are watching my vlogs, a lot of people who are out here on their own through hikes will never understand that or what that feels like. And I kind of go into more of this stuff on my Instagram stories than I do on here, just because it's a lot easier to post a story than it is to like hike and talk for a long period of time. But at some point I knew I was going to start talking about this stuff. But I don't know. I think there are aspects to this through hiking community that a lot of people don't see. They either don't want to see it or they just don't want to talk about it, because apparently no one talks about real issues out here. Now, I haven't brought up any conversations about like politics or diversity on trail or anything like that. I've heard other people, and I've overheard conversations where people start to get into those things and then they automatically shut themselves down. Like, oh, I know nobody talks about XYZ on trail, but I'm just saying. I'm just like, if you want to say something, go ahead and say it. If you want to talk about something, go ahead and talk about it. Like, who made up this rule that people don't talk about XYZ on trail? Let me guess. Actually, I don't even need to guess. I already know. because they've been the ones in my comments telling me it's just stupid. And I'm not gonna call anyone out directly because they'll be in my comments having a tizzy. But I'll let y'all think on that. But yeah, I just say all that to say this experience has been challenging in ways that I pretty much expected, but they aren't talked about a whole lot because you don't really see a whole lot of people who look like me doing a thru hike and vlogging the experience. I mean, I've been watching vloggers for the last 3-4 years now, and I've only found a few black ones, a few queer ones, I think one black and queer person, and their vlogs were pretty sparing. So if y'all don't like what I have to say, that's fine, but I'm documenting my authentic experience, and I'm sharing things that I am sort of going through while on this hike. And yes, I'm having fun. I joke a lot. I like to keep things lighthearted, and I just want to have a good time. But I also want people to be aware that there are other things happening out here that I've been experiencing that I haven't necessarily touched on too much. And that stuff, I'm not gonna say it takes the fun out of this, but it just reminds me of why I need to continue doing this. And it reminds me of why there aren't more people who look like me or come from my communities doing stuff like this still. But we need that to change. And so I'm gonna do what I can to hopefully try to bring forth some of that change. So there's my little rant that it wasn't really a rant, but that's enough for today because this is a long clip. Oh my gosh, so I just came across a couple of section hikers, and I was telling them that I was just slack packing today, and I was hiking back to Woods Hole Hostel, and they were telling me that they stayed at Wood Hole Hostel a couple of nights ago. So I just missed them, and I was explaining how nice it was and how I stayed in the bunkhouse last night, and this was a couple, and they reserved one of the safari tents that Wood Hole offers, which are private. And the woman, just being generous, decides to give me $40 so that I can upgrade my stay tonight and maybe stay in one of the safari tents. And I thought that was so nice of her. I don't know if I'm actually going to upgrade. I'll have to check with Neville when I get back to the hostel to see if one of the tents are available, because I think there are only a couple. And if there are none available, I'll probably just throw this $40 into her little hiker support jar. So Neville, who owns Woods Hole Hostel, she keeps a jar, and people put money in it to support hikers who are maybe more strapped financially on trail. So if anyone shows up at her hostel and they need something and maybe can't afford it, she allows them to take money from the hiker jar to use and help support them. So I threw $22 into the jar yesterday because I recognize how fortunate I am to be out here and I got the scholarship from El Chapo's family, and I haven't been too strapped for cash, thankfully. And it looks like my generosity came right around and served me, because now someone is giving me money. So we'll see if I'm able to upgrade when I get back, and if not, I guess someone else will be getting this $40 and I'll just continue to pay it forward. But that was really nice of them. So about 1/10 of a mile back, I had to stop to pee, and when I picked my head up and turned and looked, I saw the road that takes me back to Woods Hole Hostel. So I'm done hiking for the day. I knew I had to be getting pretty close. It's about 3 o'clock now. That's 11.5 miles today. And I'm happy to be done. So I'm gonna grab a shower, probably get a smoothie, because they make smoothies here at Woods Hole, and just kick back and relax. So the next couple of nights I'm going to be spending at Angel's Rest Hostel. I think that's what it's called. It's just up in Harrisburg, so we pretty much started our hike today where that hostel is. I think Gary and I are probably gonna slack pack tomorrow and then stay there. And then we were talking about taking a 0 on Monday, because it's supposed to be really rainy all day and a little bit colder. So I made my reservations for 2 nights at Angel's Rest, and I'm really excited because they offer acupuncture sessions for hikers at a special rate. You just have to make an appointment in advance. So I've been texting them today to see if I can make an appointment for Monday while I'm zeroing. I think that might really help my shin. And yeah, that's all for now. Just a half-mile walk down this road back to Woods Hole, where I will be again tonight. Strawberry banana smoothie. Very nice reward. And I also have a Reese's. This is wonderful.